It is time, but no wine today. Today is vodka and Topo Chico. Mm, I missed you last week. I was in Arizona, you know, going to all kinds of sporting events. What was up with that, folks? I'm sure some of you were like, what happened to Mia? And why was she at two football games in a row? Anywho, it's it's Friday. It's the last day of September. So this is the last day of Q3. What have you gotten done? What have you done with yourself? Right? I don't know. Planets are going direct. It's been a lot of retrograde action. I'm wearing my queenly outfit. This is a dress from Margot and Max. You know how I love Margot and Max. It's my favorite thing. Say hello. I just got off the phone with my darling friend Jessica, who, as you may or may not know, was my second and third guest on my podcast. I quietly just hit my second year anniversary. I'm still doing the podcast, just so you know. And, Drew, who is my podcast producer, who also has the Anxious Truth podcast, wildly popular. He says that, a lot of these podcasts, unless you have a huge audience, I wanted to pause, huge. If you have a big audience, that's what she said, or, like big sponsor or Spotify and all that, you're not really going to be very successful. And that's okay. I mean, I'm just kind of paraphrasing from Drew. Ooh, look who's here. My world traveler. Oh, from Kathmandu. Mira is here. She is the M to my other M. She's in the group. Now, if you haven't seen that, I host the show every Monday night on a group called Just Get Out of Town. And that's the village. She's an expert in the lounge. The girlfriend is with her darling husband, and they are doing the big thing. Let me tell you, that's what she said. All the things. So they're in India and Nepal, the whole thing. So go, and I will post the link. I want you to join the J Goot group. I used my Amex this week. I actually got, oh gosh, not the DoorDash for free because of my Amex. All the good things. Anywho, hi honey. Can't wait to see you when we're in Phoenix together. I just got back from Phoenix, as you know. Did y'all see I got to go to another stupa? Stupa, Stupa. I just like saying it. It sounds fun in my mouth. Oh, hi, Katie. How are you? I love your face too. How's my beautiful friends? How you been, honey? Do tell. Tell me something feisty. And here's Jessica. I was just talking about her. We just did an hour chat. I love how you wait an hour to tell me that fabulous news about one of the speaking engagements that you're doing for the breast education. So Jessica had two episodes. Oh, Rob's here too. Oh, I was thinking about you today too, Rob. Two episodes. One was about having breast cancer, and then also losing her husband to suicide. And she's very honest about it. And I love that she shared her journey. And that was 2 years ago. Sissy. Hi, Sissy. Sissy had a very spicy, lovely video of herself in this banging ass outfit dancing. Let's talk about Rob being in the eye of hurricane. I know that's Ian. I know that's what it is. Hurricane country. He's in South Carolina. So, my friend, I'm sending you such good energy. Y'all pray for Florida. Man, did they get an ass beating. Sorry about your shitty governor, too. My God. Anyhow. But Fort Myers, my goodness. Anyway, we gotta think about that. Yes, Rob, please stay safe. And happy birthday to your darling granddaughter. I saw somebody do a post of like, oh, she looks like so and so, and you're like, Rob has entered the chat, right? Popey's here. Hi, Popey. How are you, gorgeous? It's good to see you. Okay, well, let's send some good energy to Katie. Let's send some good energy to Rob for safety, covering him in that. My tuning fork is downstairs. I took that tuning fork with me everywhere in Arizona, including to Sedona, where there are vortexes or vortices. I think it's what it's called. Anyhow, and I went to the stupa. I'll post more pictures of that. So Christopher's here. How are you? Just doing 2 weeks in Cozumel. And sounds like something else. Oh, and it's always good to see you. Chris, I think I met you through Kathy Bacon way back in the day, but then you and I did a lot of the rescue things with Going Home Animal Rescue. Speaking of which, Chris and Christiane, if you guys want to attend, I'm emceeing the Colorado Pet Pantry event here in Denver next week, next Saturday. You guys should come. There's like all these really great, what do you call it? When you bid on things, silent auction. Man, I don't know about you guys, but my brain's a little broken lately, and I embrace it. Yes, yes, thank you. Things that make you fall asleep. What is that? Stupas, meditating. Um, Sedona is amazing. Oh my goodness. Yes, goodness. I can't even talk. Silent auction. Thank you, darling. Yes. You know what I like to do is I like to start conversations on the show and then see if you guys can finish it for me. The tuning fork. Oh, the fork thing. It makes you fall asleep. I love the tuning fork. Would you like, if you guys want to private message me or message me here, I will call you after this and leave you a little tuning fork. So Jess and I were going to do this wine walk thing. And then today or yesterday, I went up into the mountains with my friend Lynn. So go and follow Knowlton and Company, KNOWLTON. I'll put it, Knowlton and Co. I think is what they are on Instagram. So I don't know if you all remember about 7 years ago, I did this whole road trip and Lynn was with me and we had a great time. And so she was coming through with her husband, Michael. So I took her up into the mountains. We went to that little Hotel de Paris museum. We did the whole leaf peeping thing. And then I went and saw she and her husband today. And then this afternoon, I did a thing. I did another episode of Shit We Don't Talk About, and it's going to be called Dating Dips. I said it wrong. Shit. Dating Tips and Dick Pics. We really didn't talk about dick pics too much, but I would like to know your opinion of sending dick pics, receiving them, and if you giggle at them. I'm just saying. I did a thing. I did a thing called Dating Tips and Dick Pics. That was the name of the um oh, Deborah Trapin's dad? Oh, shoot, I didn't get a message on that. Thank you. And you know what? I take that back. I did know that. I did. I sound awful when I say that, but my girl, yes. Yeah, she's gone through some stuff. We've been sending some energy to her too. So I see hello, but I don't know who that is. So please tell me because you're not showing up. Oh, if you go to streamyard.com/Facebook, you will find out. And yes, I did know that about her dad. And then, we were just surrounding her with that. And I've been having a lot of conversations with people about the death doula episodes I had on the podcast. I had 3 of them. One is about preparing for death, helping people prepare for death, and, setting up so that people know what to do if you pass away. Grief, man, that's something else, right? It's something on a stick. Yes, thank you, honey. Yes, yes, yes. And then yay for mountain drives. They do scare you. Shauna, my darling friend Shauna, who I was visiting in Arizona, along with a cute guy friend, not gonna lie. I had a good time too. And my darling nephew. Oh my God. Did you guys see my nephew, Dominic Robert Joseph Voss, named after my grandfather? He is just rocking the world with his good energy, like doing 75 hard, doing meditating. He's going to start a podcast. I love it. Love it. I don't see you now. Is this Sissy? Sissy, who is it? Just tell me who it is so I know who it is. So Katie says if somebody sends you a dick pic, you block them immediately. Jessica's definitely blocking too. I think what's also fun is to send one back to them and say, do you mean this size? Because you should be embarrassed and not send anybody that pic. Like you shouldn't be showing anybody that. And, I don't think it's healthy to shame people, but yet I do if they deserve it. Does that make sense? I think it's healthy to just be like, what the hell is that? And why would you send me that? Although I do admit that I think you have to be cautious about engaging with people. What do you all think about that? Do you think it's this is Dr. Oh, it is weird that it didn't show up. The Joe Craw method. I love it. You guys, if you're not following Joanne Crawl, Joe Crawl, will you put your information in here? I mean, she is, and actually, Joe Crawl and I talked about this with being prepared because she lost her parents when they were young, but they were very, very organized, and it helped her to be able to grieve because she wasn't going through all their shit. Does that make sense? Jokra and I have talked a lot about categorizing all your things, going through your picks. In fact, Jokra, it is time for me to change out all my decorations in my house and all my tchotchkes because I've had them out for 3 months, and now it's time so that I don't feel like I've got all this stuff out here. Katie has a lot going on. Okay. The new security guard at your job said he loves your energy. And I told him I just got out of jail for beating my ex-husband up, and he stopped talking to me immediately. And I mean, not an ideal situation, but I'm not a fan of weird men. Girl, I think that the quicker that we are about saying like, hey, I'm not here for your bullshit, I think the better. And you don't have to be mad about it. Randall Scruggs, what's going on? Love it. Yes, Joe Craw. Thank you. Thank you. So I am going to post links to my death doula episodes because I think there's just so much about what's going on. Deborah, we were just talking about you, honey. We were all sending you good energy for the loss on your pops. You doing okay? Which I know you and I message off to the side, so I know, but we're all going to send some collective energy. Don't you think that's fun, y'all? Like when we show up together and we tell each other what we have going on or what needs we have, that we can, how many of us are watching or even in the replay, just kind of send collective energy. And Katie says, by the way, no, but he still talks to me. You have to like that too. Where was I at today? Oh, I went to the grocery store and my pay app didn't work, and I didn't have the credit card that I wanted to use. So I had to go back home. And then I had to come back, and I've been going to the store and going out and wearing my cute Margot and Max dresses. And then I was waiting, and this guy was like, wait, um, I thought you were a little dressed up for, a sack lady, like, to bag the groceries. And I was like, hey, you never know. I could be showing up just, dressing for the job that I want, which I love. Deborah, oh, good, 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 honey. You felt a pull to pop on the energy. Well, you did. Did you? So nobody pinged you in because we literally were just talking about you. In fact, Katie mentioned that you're about your father, which then I was like, did I know about that? Of course I did. We've just had so much going on, and I know that you let us know, about the divine timing, and you kept saving your dad's voicemails in case he's now 84. Cat, oh, that's awesome. You know what? I just think that's beautiful, you all. Like just honoring these lovely memories. And I'll tell you, the gals who were the death wives who were on my podcast, Erin Morelli was one of the guests, and she after she recorded the episode, her sister died and of suicide, and it was a really tough thing. And so what she's been doing, which I enjoy, is she's been sharing on social media that long messy process of her grieving, and I love it. And she set boundaries. And even I think I told you all about this when she went to go get a massage, and she had specifically said to the people at the massage place, like, we're going to show up. Please don't ask us a lot of questions. Can we just come in? And sure enough, when they showed up, they kept saying, well, how are you feeling? What do you need? And she said, I really told you all that this is not appropriate for me. You don't need to ask me this. I just need treatment. And they kept asking questions, and she left. And she called him out on social media, which I thought was great. Like if you're not keeping a boundary. Deborah, I love it. Oh, honey. Nobody pinged you in. You just felt it. Oh my gosh, honey. Thank you. Thank you for being open to that. That means your energy is really aligned. You met a death doula a few months ago. I was incredibly fascinated. Yes, you will love that. In fact, like I said, there's 3. Two of the women in the interviews are funeral directors. And I love how they really talk about, with many industries, how it became so predominantly masculine and male. And, for really working, I believe the phrase is called a thanatologist, one of the gals that I interviewed. And that's someone who is a professional, who deals professionally in grief. Can you even? And I think it's so healthy, by the way. Somebody said this must be Kat. When my father got cancer at the same time as me, I was more scared for him than for myself. Absolutely. Absolutely, y'all. I mean, life is so messy. Katie, I love this. I have 4 photos of my dad and it kills me. I never felt like I talked to him. Grief is so fucking hard. I can't talk about it out loud, but I love that you're speaking about it right now. And I think journaling is really good too. And once I'm done, and unless somebody wants to go on and go to shit we don't talk about podcast.com, you'll see all of the links. These were from a bit ago, but I did 2 birth doula episodes, and then I did 3 death doula episodes. I don't know if the death doula episodes were all in one. So, let's take a deep breath. Let's bong breathe. I think it's time for as that was my shoe, by the way. I have these really cute shoes on. You want to see? Oh, they're shiny, super cute. As Abraham Hicks says, it's time for a segment of refreshment. Right? I think I want to do the affirmators. I haven't done these in a while, but I'm going to bong breathe with you and tell me what you're drinking. Hold on a second. Let's take a drink. Okay. Feet on the ground. Booty settled. Hi, Jessica. How are you? Speaking of Jay Good, how are you? Lovely. She's one of our Jay Good travel experts. And she and her husband are living their best life. I mean, living it. Where are you right now, Jess? Okay, here we go. Deep breath in. I'm going to move the thing so I can put my boobs up there. Teats up. Hold it in with a big bong breath. All the sparkles. Remember in the Green Mile when he, and I'm gonna turn this into a positive, when he pulls out all the bad energy and he heals somebody, and then he like breathes it out, and it kind of comes out of all these little sparkly bugs. I just think it's really good to think of it with that way, when you're just breathing all that up. That's right. Tits up, ladies. Woo! Let's do another one. Ready? Oh, yep. In the teats. My Gidget with her 7 teats. Stop. Call off the dogs. Sky is here. Hi, babe. Where's your picture? Oh, I do. I have it up right here, honey. I got my Sky Rodriguez original. I missed you too. I love you. Let's see. We've got a couple comments, and I see Bill is here from the other side of the world. How's your tomorrow, Bill? So Katie says, my dad was so at peace when he was dying. He's ready. It was everyone else running around like a lunatic. I've got to tell you, the death doulas speak about that so much, honey. Let's see. I think this is Kat. Is this Kat? Yes, it is. I used to be good friends with Reverend Lee Atherton through a coaching program. She specializes in grief counseling for end-of-life care providers. That's what the death doulas do. That's amazing. Now doing a joint podcast with the death doula. I mean, need it more and more and more. Somebody's drinking water. That's all good. Also drinking water. Good, my hydrated friends. Currently drinking water. Bought a small mason jar of some Cabernet. Treating yourself to a night in at a local hotel. You are. Joe Crawl with the self-care for the win. You might be winning the internet tonight with that. Brought in a little mason jar of Cabernet. That's my girl. Bill is here. Bill, how are you, honey? Happy spooky month to you as well. Last day of September. Shocktober, Rocktober. I'm just saying, lots of really positive energy. I'll post a link from Jason. Oh my gosh, I just forgot Jason's last name, but he used to pop in here a lot too. He does a lot of energy work. The energy in October is going to be so good. We've got an Aries full moon, which I'm excited about. Yes, Sky is here. So exciting. Jessica says, you're home in St. Louis. And when I say Louis, I say home, I mean the Hyatt. Having 3 weeks here and then 3 weeks in Dubai and the Maldives and the over the water, like, you have to come on the show after that. You have to do a live stream about your experience. I love it. Jessica just started, I think like last year, she's done a couple live streams on Jay Good, and now she is living her best life. Like she and her husband have like downsized, sold everything, and now they're traveling. And you were doing hair. I'm sure you're still doing hair, but I mean, now you're really doing it up. Yeah, tits up, Belle, too. Everybody tits up. Everybody has boobs. So speaking of which, if Jessica's still here. She has the breast education also known as Night Out with the Girls. So, as you know, Jessica is a breast cancer survivor, caught it very early, and now she does all these. I mean, you can do it online, and then she has companies that come in and do breast health education. And not that pink washing bullshit either. Okay, when they put a little pink ribbon on it and say they're helping. No, no, no. It's really awesome. So, because tomorrow is the start of breast cancer awareness. Yay, boobs. You thought I wrote Cocktober. Did I write Cocktober? Well, you can rock out with your sock out, right? Which is one of my favorites. And jam out with your clam out. Exactly. Yeah, TT, teetsies. Gidget has 7. And when Gidget and I get together, it's 9. And then when Jessica's there, it's 11 teats, right? We need a beer called 11 Teats Brewing. I am loving my space, honey. Thank you. I've been here for about 3 months. I'm sort of coming up on a full year, as you know. Well, some of you know, some of you don't. I'm coming up on a year of moving out from Charlie and getting my own space and doing like my own thing. And so that's a year anniversary tomorrow. And everybody's doing good stuff. I think we've all done a lot of work in this last year. Here we go. No pink washing. Take action. Yeah, you buying an Activia yogurt with a pink ribbon and some boobs on it is not the way to do that at all. Yeah, October. It is. Hey, let's stop and do some collective energy for Fort Myers. I mean, they got hit. They got hit. Now, unlike other administrations, though, our president, I mean, as much of a hot mess as I know he is, and I know that, oh my God, our vice president made a huge gaffe in Korea the other day. There's always going to be something, you guys. I'll take this administration over what we had for the last 4 years. Anywho, not to get too political. We got to say some good energy. Oh, I got to put some good powder on, right? Kamala, she made a little gaffe. I just got to say, wait, hold up. Girl, okay, honey. You're also getting divorced and working through your own. I will hit you up. Oh my gosh, honey, we do need to get together. Hey, it's not a bad thing when you end things and say, this is what's best for me. I mean, not that I'm, worried about what Charlie thinks that I'm announcing, but it's been a year and I've done a lot of spiritual work. As many of you who are close to me know, and I know you have too. But anywho, let's do some Fort Myers energy. Collective. Is it collective here? Yes, yes, yes. Okay, pull in the energy, pull in the good energy. And you're cleansing yourself while you're doing it. And then, actually, I think Florida is this way. I think it works. I do. And if anybody has any ideas about where to donate, of course, I still want to I still want to send energy to, I mean, Pakistan had huge floods. Of course, we have what's going on in Iran with, oh my gosh, they're doing a lot of protesting. I mean, talk about Ooh, Ashe, that's right. They're talk about some just crazy energy out in the world. But the best thing in this podcast that I just did with Dave Glazer, who's a local dating, I don't want to say guru, but he does a lot of counseling and coaching with dating. And we talked a lot about the best thing to know too is one, what your attachment or detachment style is, what your Enneagram is, because it can change and ebb and flow. And then also balancing your masculine and feminine. And that has a lot to do with modalities. Is it Taekwondo? Is it meditation? Is it prayer? Is it journaling? Is it all of the above? Right? What are you doing? Mira, better to end it than live in misery. Amen. And to also do it before you get, and I totally agree with that, before you get too miserable, when you're just like, I got to do this. And that takes courage for a lot of us. So, Sky, I'm so proud of you. And I think always when people say they ended a relationship, always assume that that's a good decision. And that especially if it's something that person did, that they did it and it took a lot of courage to do that, but they're happy about that. Don't you think people actually like to hear that you're proud of them and that you're happy for them rather than, oh, that sucks. Yeah, it does suck. It can suck, but give people the kudos. I saw the best thing today, and actually it was from Erin Morelli, the gal that's from Death Wives. And I see Lynn Eads is here. Hi, honey. That she said that unsolicited advice is the worst advice. And that was a period hard stop. And of course, somebody came in and they said, unless, it depends on who it's from. And we're all like, dude, sit all the way down with that. Of course, it was like some white guy. And so that sounds mean, but, more like, well, I'm like, dude, please sit all the way down. And she just said, no, it literally, it is just, yeah, I'm not even going to try and fix it. It literally is unsolicited advice. And if you give unsolicited advice, be aware of it and just say, I'm really sorry. That may not be what you wanted to hear. And check yourself and then acknowledge it and let them know. Then don't make too big of a deal out of it and keep on moving. And that way the person can also gracefully move past that and not hold resentment for you. That's what I'm thinking. Women, life, freedom. I'm loving also sovereignty. I've been using that a lot too. Absolutely. And yes, hi, Lynn. And if I didn't pull your name up, Bill, darling Bill, absolutely. And Katie says you left your ex 9 months ago, because I felt a tug saying this isn't what I want or need. It was the best and worst time in my life because I'm happier being alone. Amen to that. Listen, if we're looking for the definitive sign, once I make this decision that everything's going to be great after that, keep holding your breath. Look at that. Mm-hmm. AKA don't do it. It's just if you are looking for, and again, going back to the self, not what's the word I'm looking for? It's self-care. It is embodiment practice. It's embodiment practice, and that is the grounding, the meditation. If you keep going back to that, especially as women, because in general, we're the most highly sensitive HSPs, highly sensitive people. And so if we're really grounded, can you imagine how much good we do when we're so clear about these signs? When red flags don't look like capes and when green flags are really attractive, right? We talk about red flags. We don't talk about green flags at all, which I absolutely love. Okay, we got a couple folks coming in. Thank you, Lynn. I appreciate that. Yeah, Deborah, unsolicited advice is almost always taken as criticism. It is. And because, let's face it, it is given as it. There's a bit of criticism in everything. When we mean well, it can be taken as criticism. And then we have to check ourselves. Why am I trying to fix this person? Are you okay? Is everything good? Do you need anything? Tell me if you need something. If someone asks you, what do you think? Or you can ask and say, hey, something occurred to me and this might be helpful. Can I suggest it to you? That too. That lets people know that you are doing it. Does that make sense? I think that's a good way to say, because we do feel compelled, especially as highly sensitive people, we get hits and ideas of what would be helpful for someone, but ask. You think about that. Hi, Karen. Thank you, darling. And hi to you from in Philly. You having fun out there? Yay. Popey, thank you. You know how much I love you too. Popey and I have been through a lot. I love you too. Sovereignty is the 2022 word. It's been showing up in so many layers. And I think looking at the actual meaning of it and then thinking of what iterations it shows up in your life. Oh my God, there's a responsibility with sovereignty too. If you're going to say that, if you're going to reign over your kingdom, what's your plan? Right? Deborah, I mean, I know you got a plan because my girl's got her shit together and she can lift it too. But I love this. Sky says, oh, wait, back up. Oh, good comments today. Katie, biggest flaw is relating shit back to myself and then thinking that people want to hear my shit. They don't. And that can be true at sometimes too. Sometimes people just need to talk without someone talking back. Oh my God, that's a good call. That's called call venting. Oh, that's really good. And I will say this at times because we want someone to feel like we can relate to them. We do bring it back to ourselves. But I think you can be adept at that. And I think you probably are. I bet you are, Katie, at that. That's a version of showing empathy, right? HSP, babe, highly sensitive person. Also, many of us are ambiverts. If you just Google HSP and highly sensitive person, there's so much good stuff out there I've been seeing lately. And by the way, Lynn, I saw that you saw our girl Dawn the other day. By the way, and you guys look so cute. I was like, look how gorgeous they are. Sky, let's talk about this. And you have kids. 13 years. It was hard and fucked up, but things led to it. And as a sensitive person, it's harder. I know, babe. I hurt him and now I have to hurt harder. Can we revisit marriage? Don't do it. I know. I hear you. I was 5 years in my relationship and now I love being a year out without making any commitments. I've been single for a year. I never thought I would have gone that long. I'm really proud of myself. That doesn't mean this hasn't happened, but that's okay. No, you don't need to know about that right now. Happy face. Anywho, how will you make it on your own? I love this. Is this Joe Craw? This world is awfully big, girl. This time you're all alone, but it's time. Oh, are we singing this? Love is all around. Don't need to waste it. I'm sorry, I was a little slow on that. Oh, I don't want to get dinged though because of music. Oh my God. You're gonna make it after all. Throw up that beret in the air if you're old enough to remember that. God damn, was Mary Tyler Moore not the most goodness gracious? Like, I mean, she was what we thought was going to be like our, what women were going to be, not realizing how things would, fall back and move forward, fall back. Oh my God. I need to go watch that. Yes. Oh, good, Lynn. Yeah, that's totally you. I love that. I love that. Okay. Oh, Katie, this is good. I've recently started saying, do you have the mind space to hear what I have to say? Or would you be open to something I want to share with you? And then also maybe dial it back a little bit for all of us. Like say what we think we're going to need to say, but 3/4 of it. I'm doing that for myself. I'm not kidding. Deborah says, preach it. Our divine feminine nature is all about receiving and being, notice the capital BE, in the flow of the energy around us. It feels so good when we can slow down and soak it all in, which is why I love Drew. We all love Drew Linsalata. He has the podcast, The Anxious Truth, and he wrote the book 7% Slower, which gets on my nerves because every time I do it and then it feels difficult to do, I realize how valuable it is. And that's where we're coming up on the end of all the retrogrades, right? Mercury's going direct, I believe, Monday, and then the other 5 planets are going direct as well. So we're doing this like sort of switch into a big energy surge, a shift forward. And so what's been great is we've had to slow down and be thoughtful about a lot, especially with Mercury. You can't be late for things because you're really leaving yourself open to a lot. There's also a shadow period for a lot of the retrogrades. You don't feel like Monday's going to be this instant switch. It could be. Call me crazy. The original Mary Tyler, the MTN lyrics were pretty rough. They changed it to say, "Who can turn the world on with her smile?" Oh, who is this? Is that Joe Crow or is that Kat? Yes, you saw our bestie. Yay, yay, yay. Oh, this is all good. I'm old enough to know. However, that was Kat, not you. You are old enough to know good. Yay. Your grandma made you watch that shit. Hey, it was good. It was good. Mary Tyler Moore, well, because they had the whole newsroom thing. She was doing a lot with that too. Yes, yourself. That is key. We've all been in this, Katie, being in repeatedly abusive relationships. I feel like I have to apologize and have right. So that's the inner work that you can do so that you don't have the verbal diarrhea because that feeds itself. And so you get into that swirl, that eddy of that pool of the constant shame. And then you feel like you need to make it better. And then shame because you didn't do it right to make it better. Can you tell I'm speaking from experience? So it's breaking the cycle with yourself for all of us, honestly. And, not making it someone else's responsibility. I mean, you have to go through the forgiveness work, of course, of like, well, you fucking sucked. But, what was it about us that brought them in? Deborah has a good one. I've experienced so much peace in releasing the pressure to fix everyone around me or make sure they are correct. Yes, because you know what that's also part of? Deborah, and you know this, patriarchy and colonialism. They love perfection. white supremacy, patriarchy, and colonialism, it's all about just, keeping up with the Joneses, looking good, traditional looks. And this is why I don't even worry about now. I would never spell your as in you are as YOUR, because I can't do that. It literally goes against my religion, my Mia religion. However, what I've stopped doing is worrying if I'm saying things in proper grammar. I don't give a fuck. I think that's what's been part of white supremacy with racism, is going after how people speak. And fuck that. So, push that away. Push away the need to fix everyone and to fix yourself, and then to judge people by that. I hope that makes sense. Man, I'm on a roll. I'll say you might consider. I love when I plan an idea and then hear someone present it as their own in those cases. That's good too. Again, if it's an open dialogue, again, if it's open, if someone's just feeling the need, but as an empath, you're going to know if they just feel the need to speak and not be fixed. My mom and I are doing so well with that, is that she's even seeing it. I'll be talking to her and I'll say something, or she'll say something, and we both do it. And I'll sit and I'll start to fix, and I go, "Oh, mommy, I'm sorry." Um, or I'll start to say something that I'm ranting about, and she'll hear it, and it's almost like you can hear an old tape in her head, like an old 8-track tape, that's hearing her start to fix it. And I can hear the energy it's taking for her to start to fix that. And I go, "Oh, mommy, you don't have to fix it." And I love that she, in her 81-year-old wisdom, will stop and go, "Oh, gosh, you're right. I don't know why I felt called to do that." And so it stops a pattern in her. You can literally feel this generational healing for both of us, to say, for me to be able to say, "Mom, you don't need to do that." And for her to say, "You're right. I don't need to do that." That's some magic. Yes, moving forward. Yes, Mary Tyler Moore, Moot. That's a good one too. Oh, good. You do, honey. Okay, you will be able to forgive yourself. You're doing the work. Just the fact that you're actually going through this, you're going to do the work. Katie, where are you that you're getting funky hurricane weather? Sending you some good energy. Deborah says, "My sissy shared a fun way of communicating with Drew when he's doing something that feels insane to me. I ask him, 'Does that feel safe to you?' And I swear 80% of the time now he stops and says, 'Not really,' and shifts his behavior on his own." You guys built a trust, though. You built a trust to do that, Deborah. So that speaks very highly of the emotional intelligence in your relationship, that you're able to say it safely, and he's able to hear it. Now, I have been listening to this podcast, which I'm careful with it because it could be dangerous, but I do a lot of protective energy, that it's called Something Was Wrong. And so they do give trigger warnings in the beginning of the different topics. But there's it's incredible when you hear, and mainly it's about relationships that got really toxic and very dangerous. And, and it's based on relationships that don't have this safety, where you can say that to him and not have him coerce you with blowing up in anger. And because that's what a lot of women of all, or people, sorry, I'm going to be very specific about pulling that back and saying people in person. I do not want to be gender specific on this, but to pull back and say that a lot of people can get caught up if you get love bombed in the beginning, right? And then somebody will switch instantly and become very angry with that kind of thing, where you could not say something to that person because they would be so angry and combative. Anyway, that's a podcast called Something Was Wrong, which is just 1,000% of bad fascinating to me. Yes. Oh, good, Katie. You two connect on that too. That to say that. I think this must be Kat. There's a great transformational program coming back 1014 in Calgary. The Gift with Jay Fissett. I hasn't done this program, but someone died and left money for scholarship, so I'll attend. Great opportunity for clearing if you can get there. Ooh, thank you for that. I love it. Thank you, Lynn. I agree. I love that my mommy has gone and done the work and recognizes that. And she recognizes it quickly. And then what we both do too is we don't make a big deal out of it. Does that make sense too? Of like, whoop, you recognize it and move on, because some people like to stay and be like, remember that time you edited, right? Mm. Wow, it's up in Maryland already. Crazy. I know Rob's in South Carolina, so I wonder if you're getting like, I mean, like the shadow period, right? I guess we should always think in those terms of retrogrades being like a hurricane, of like there's the eye of it, but then you've kind of got those the outer banks of it too. Yep, cats in DC. Uh, yep, and I bet it is. We just got rain too, but I'm in Colorado. An awesome book that supports healing around generational wounds. It didn't start with you. Thank you, Deborah. You always have such great resources too. I will give you that podcast info for sure. It's literally called "Something Was Wrong." Just make sure to listen to the intro so you'll know what the trigger is, because one of them had animal abuse in it, and I was like, I had to bounce the hell out of that one. Could not do that at all. And the other thing I really suggest, and then I'm going to go because I need to CTFO. Do you know what that is? Chill the fuck out. And I need to pull a card for you. But the other thing that I love, I've talked to you about, is the crappy childhood fairy, because I've been doing a lot of work around complex PTSD and childhood PTSD. And there's a level to it that I did not know. And I think you guys know I did do the podcast. There's 2 episodes. I am going to share it right now because I would like for you to listen to it. And if you are listening to my podcast, could you give me a review either on Apple? I don't know if you can on Spotify, or on Google. I mean, like, I would really, that's my call to action for you tonight. I would love that. But I did do a podcast, 2 episodes about growing up in a cult, which was also part of my childhood trauma. So childhood trauma is something where it's extended, where you just had long periods of not feeling safe. And I suspect a lot of us have gone through that, right? But I'm going to put this. This is the blog post to it, and both of the episodes are in here. But you can also listen to it on Spotify and Apple. I'm going to throw that in there. Oh, good. I love you too. Yeah, reach out to me, honey. I'm always here for you, but I love you too. And thank you for letting us know. Thank you for sharing that, because I think that's the first step to healing as well, is saying what's going on in your life unapologetically, and just giving it a name. For women specifically, and I am going to get gender specific, those of us who identify as women or who are born female, we do bear the burden of society really pushing us down with carrying a lot of things around in shame. And men do as well too. There's just a very specific way that women tend to carry shame, and that's where I'll end being gender specific. So yeah, not many hurricanes in Colorado, you think, right? I know it's true. I appreciate that the podcaster gives a synopsis up front too. Yeah, I really, really, really do. I think that to me is super, super important to give that trigger warning, to say this has, and I'm doing that a lot more in my podcast. I also give identifiers now, and I do put out did I do it on this one? Ooh, maybe I didn't. Oh, an audio transcript of the a transcript of the audio for the people that for different abilities for taking in the information. So on that note, let me pull a card. Oh, it's right here. It's right here. Actually, there's 2. There's 2. Strength. I was gonna hold that up. You are hereby declared a strong, resilient warrior of heroic proportions. A heroine in proportions. Enjoy your battles, whatever they are, because you're guaranteed to come through them stronger, brighter, and more compassionate. And based on what I know of mythology, probably with great hair and a 6-pack. That's awesome. Joyville. Joyville. Da-na-na. Excellent. I think that's a lemur. No judgment. I release myself from, this is for us. I release myself from any and all judgments. I find my inner critic, call it into my office, and tell it to take a vacation. As it leaves the room, I let out a sigh and I begin to enjoy the joy of simply being. Who hired that person anyway? I love you all. I'll see you next time.